And with this man came running to me, and this man was an American man. And he kept assuring me as he ran to me, he said, we're going to take care of you, and everything's going to be all right. He kept assuring me, word for word, we're going to take care of you, and everything's going to be all right. And I kept looking at his face. And as I looked at his face, he was smiling just like this. He was so happy. And I didn't understand where he's growing this smile. And I'm thinking in my head, if I can get up, I can show him a couple tricks. But I was out of tricks. Because I was disabled that day. And as this was happening, he said, he called the ambulance, and the ambulance was coming on the way and picked me up, went to the hospital. At the ER room, the surgeon, the orthopedic surgeon, read my chart, and he said, your name is Kamal Saleem. You are a French citizen. You have no insurance. You have no friends. You have no family. You have nothing, dude. And all of a sudden, he was saying all this stuff. I was looking at his face. All of a sudden, something came out of his lips, just like this. Son, we're going to take care of you, and everything's going to be all right. You hear? I go like, this is the same language the other guy spoke. In terrorism, when somebody speaks the other language, you start taking notes because something is happening. There's mapping in there. These people are creepy. They talk in the same language. Son, we're going to take care of you and everything's going to be all right. You hear? I'm going, yeah, I hear. Second day, I wake up in the hospital. This guy comes, his Mr. Muscles. He comes and look at my medical record. And he says, dude, you're in trouble. And he looked at me and he said, well, you know, everything's going to be all right. We're going to take care of you, son. And everything's going to be all right. I'm going like, this is not good. The jinn, the demon, has found me, and I'm ready to be executed. Because in terrorism, when we say we're going to take care of you, it's me mafia style. We're going to take care of you. We smile. And I go like, that's not good. But I have no legs to run. I have no life to move. I was in a corner and a hand locked on my jaws. On the 5th day, the first guy came to visit me, and as he's visiting me, just like this, the orthopedic surgeon walked in, and instead of looking at him and say, good morning, Kamal, he looked at this guy and said, well, son, so what you doing here? He said, oh, this is the guy I told you about. You hear? And the guy said, well, I told you about him first. And they start arguing who told who what. I'm going, this is not good. They know each other. And as they're talking now, they're close to each other. The third guy walks in. And this guy, instead of looking at this guy here and saying, how are you doing, Kamal? He looked at the other guy and said, dudes, what are you doing here? The other guy said, oh, this is the guy we told you about. I'm going, this is not good. They speak in the same language. And these guys knows each other. And they start hugging each other and telling each other, I love you. And I'm going like, that's not good. They're not just Christian, but they're foofy Christians. They hug and kiss and tell each other they love you. Take your hand off him while you're telling him you love him. This is not kosher. These men, when they woke up that morning, they have a closet. That closet was a special closet to them. Their secret was, it's a big net. They pulled it out of the closet. On the top of the closet, there's a little title that says, Fisher of Men. These men that morning got up and they're looking for the catch of the day. They're looking for somebody to save and to love. Somebody to change his life. Somebody to be a friend with. These people are not looking to take my head off, but to give me a sound understanding. these men were fighting among themselves that who's going to take me home because the hospital is going to discharge me. And I came to understand I'm going to have to go with one of those guys. And here I went with a surgeon because his wife is a head nurse, of course. Head nurse. I cut the S off. And when I went to their home, 3 children jumped on a bed and they start jumping up and down and called me, "Welcome home, Uncle Kamal." And I'm going, "Get off your bed, you little monkeys. I am not your uncle." "Oh, Uncle Kamal, welcome home." "I am not your uncle. Get off the bed, you little monkeys." And I'm worried about their family hearing me. It's execution. So with this, the little kids laid hand on me, and for the first time, I came to understand the power of love. And they started praying for Kamal. First time I was trained to kill people. I was trained to do a lot of things. I was trained to do ethnic cleansing like we did in Lebanon. I was trained to do things, crazy things, that I would not speak about anymore in my life. But one thing I was not trained for. Love. That giant of love conquered me right away. And that's the power that people of God has, is to love your enemy. The Word of God says in the book of Luke, and in James 5, it says, "Love your enemy. Bless those who spitefully use you, and pray for those who hate you." That's what the Word of God says. These people didn't know who I was, but they loved me unconditionally, Pastor. And now these people putting me in a circle, 60 men, businessmen, professional, holding hands together like crazy, and they're praying for this little guy in the middle of the circle. And this little man in the circle going like, these people have no idea. And they're praying that God, that you heal Kamal, that you give Kamal purpose, that you give him a new heart. Heart of flesh instead of heart of stone. That you love him, that you wake him up, that you give him sound understanding. And now I'm going like, what are they doing? And then I start realizing the relationship that they have with their God. It's tangible. When they pray for healing and lay a hand on the sick, they are recovering. When they read in the Bible, the Word of God is jumping out of the book and speaking to them. When they are seeking, they're finding. When they're knocking, it's open. When they are asking, they are receiving. What is it that you have? I want that magic too. Well, it ain't magic. It's not magic. It's on the house. It's free for those who want it. Really? How do you get it? Just say, I believe. Really? Yes. And you can give it to anyone else because it's tangible. Now you become a giver. Now I'm seeing all this, and one day I went to my house for the first time. They said, Kamal, here's a new car to replace your old car. We want you to come to our home. We want you to come anytime. I'm babysitting their children. I'm cooking with them now. I'm living a good life. I told them I'm not feeling good. I don't need to go home yet. I just started becoming foofy, just like them. And when I went to my home that day, I went and fell on my knees, just like this, in front of the eastern window. And I cried out to my God facing Mecca. And I said to him, Allah, Rabbi wa Mawlay. Allah, my Lord and my King. Why have you done such a thing to me? I have fought for you all over the world. I've done things for you no man would do. I went to the highest places and lowest places. Why did you put me among Christian men and women? These people are dumb. They're ready to die. They don't know what we're doing here. But they surely are lovers, and they have a relationship with their God, and they hear the voice of their God. I want to hear your voice too. If you are real, speak to me. If you are real, I want to hear your voice. Well, guess what Allah said that day? Who laughed? I laughed at myself. I came to understand that day that everything I worked for, it's what Kamal did for Islam, and not what Islam did for Kamal. It's the work of my hand. If you think today that your work is doing the kingdom work, you're wrong. In Christianity, it's on the house. God does the work, and you just say, I receive. And that's the power of God.